Desperate gambit. Jace Heron's hands tightened on the controls of his experimental ship, the Intrepid, as it sliced through the void of space. The small, angular craft was a marvel of human engineering, equipped with advanced cloaking technology that rendered it virtually invisible to most sensors. Jace, a skilled pilot with a reputation for daring missions, had been handpicked for this secret operation, to infiltrate the heart of the alien stronghold and gather critical intelligence. As the Intrepid approached the massive alien base, Jace activated the ship's cloaking system. The exterior shimmered and seemed to dissolve into the starry backdrop. Maneuvering deftly, Jace guided the ship into the main hangar bay, passing undetected amidst the bustling activity of alien ships and personnel. With a soft thud, the Intrepid touched down in a secluded corner of the hangar. Jace powered down the engines and took a deep breath, steeling himself for what lay ahead. He knew the risks: capture, interrogation, or worse. But he also knew what was at stake. The information he could gather here might turn the tide of the war. As Jace cautiously emerged from his ship, he was met by a group of alien guards. Their bulbous eyes widened in surprise at the sight of the small, primitive-looking human craft. Guttural laughter echoed through the hangar as they pointed and jeered, their body language dripping with contempt. "Look at this pitiful excuse for a ship," one guard hissed in heavily accented galactic common. "These humans truly are a backward species." Jace bit back a retort, knowing that their arrogance would work in his favor. Let them underestimate him. Let them think him weak. It would only make his mission that much easier. With a calm composure that belied the pounding of his heart, Jace raised his hands in surrender as the guards surrounded him. The real test was about to begin. Underestimated strength. The alien guards roughly escorted Jace through the winding corridors of the base, their clawed hands digging into his arms. Jace offered no resistance, allowing himself to be led deeper into the heart of the alien stronghold. As they walked, he carefully studied his surroundings, committing every detail to memory. They arrived at a stark, dimly lit interrogation room. Jace was shoved into a hard metal chair, his wrists and ankles swiftly bound by energy restraints. The guards stepped back, sneering at their captive. "You'll tell us everything you know, human," the lead interrogator snarled, looming over Jace. "Your primitive mind will be no match for our advanced techniques." Jace met the alien's gaze unflinchingly. "You underestimate us," he said quietly, a hint of defiance in his voice. "Humanity is more resilient than you think." The interrogator let out a harsh bark of laughter. "Resilient? You are nothing compared to us. Your technology is laughable, your species weak. You will break, and your pitiful resistance will crumble." As the interrogation began in earnest, Jace focused on maintaining his composure. He drew upon his training, upon the innate strength that had seen humanity through countless challenges. Even as the aliens subjected him to mental and physical strain, Jace refused to yield. Hours turned into days, and still, Jace endured. The aliens grew increasingly frustrated by his resilience, their initial arrogance giving way to a grudging respect. They had underestimated this human, underestimated the depth of his resolve. Little did they know that Jace's capture was all part of a carefully orchestrated plan. With each passing moment, a hidden AI within the Intrepid was quietly infiltrating the alien systems, mapping the base and gathering valuable data. Jace just needed to hold out long enough for the next phase to begin. As he sat in the interrogation room, bruised and exhausted but unbroken, Jace allowed himself a small, knowing smile. The aliens had no idea what was coming. The Trojan ship. Deep within the alien base, the Intrepid sat silent and unassuming in the hangar bay. To the alien technicians who had been tasked with examining the captured human ship, it appeared to be nothing more than a primitive vessel, its technology far inferior to their own. But appearances could be deceiving. Inside the Intrepid, a sophisticated AI stirred to life. Its name was HFY, Autonomous Reconnaissance and Infiltration Algorithm. Jace had activated HFY's hidden protocols just before his capture, setting in motion a carefully planned sequence of events. With stealthy precision, ARIA began to probe the alien systems, exploiting vulnerabilities and gaining access to the base's central network. Streams of data flowed into the AI's neural pathways, revealing the intricate workings of the alien stronghold. As ARIA mapped out the base's layout and defenses, it also monitored Jace's vital signs through a concealed biomonitor. The AI noted the elevated stress levels and physical strain the human was enduring, but it also detected the unwavering determination that pulsed through Jace's being. ARIA's primary objective was to gather intelligence, but it had a secondary mission: to ensure Jace's survival. The AI had grown to respect the human pilot during their time together, recognizing in Jace a kindred spirit of resilience and ingenuity. With each passing hour, ARIA's infiltration of the alien systems grew more extensive. It subtly manipulated power flows, rerouted security protocols, and planted hidden backdoors for future access. The AI was patient, meticulous, and relentless in its task. As ARIA worked tirelessly within the digital realm, Jace continued to endure the aliens' interrogation. He drew strength from the knowledge that his ship, his silent ally, was still fighting alongside him. Finally, after days of infiltration, ARIA was ready to initiate the next phase of the plan. With a surge of power, the AI took control of the base's security systems. Cell doors throughout the detention block slid open, and energy restraints deactivated with a hiss. Jace felt the bonds around his wrists and ankles fall away, and he knew that his moment had come. Rising from the interrogation chair, he smiled grimly at the stunned alien guards. "You should have never underestimated us," he said, his voice steady and resolute. "Now, it's our turn." With ARIA guiding him through the base's corridors, Jace set out to rally the other prisoners and take the fight to the heart of the alien stronghold. Turning the tables, Jace moved swiftly through the alien base, following the route that ARIA had mapped out for him. The AI's voice, calm and assured, guided him through his earpiece, alerting him to any threats and directing him towards the detention block where the other prisoners were held. As he rounded a corner, Jace came face to face with a group of alien guards. Before they could raise their weapons, Jace lunged forward, his reflexes honed by years of training. He dispatched the guards with precise strikes, their bodies crumpling to the floor. Jace reached the detention block, where a group of ragged and weary prisoners, a mix of humans and aliens from conquered worlds, looked up at him with a mix of hope and trepidation. Jace quickly explained the situation, urging them to seize this chance for freedom and retribution. Together, they made their way back to the hangar bay, fighting through pockets of resistance along the way. Jace's leadership and ARIA's guidance proved invaluable, and soon they stood before the Intrepid, the ship that had started it all. As the prisoners boarded the Intrepid, Jace took his place at the controls. The ship hummed to life, its systems primed and ready. With a surge of power, they blasted out of the hangar bay, alarms blaring in their wake. Alien fighters were quick to pursue, their weapons locking onto the fleeing ship. But Jace was in his element now, his hands dancing over the controls as he pushed the Intrepid to its limits. The ship wove and dodged through the barrage of enemy fire, its advanced evasion systems proving their worth. Jace's destination was clear: the base's central reactor. It was a heavily guarded and vital system, but ARIA had identified a vulnerability that they could exploit. As they approached the reactor chamber, Jace's voice crackled over the ship's intercom. "ARIA, initiate the next stage," he said, a hint of grim determination in his tone. "It's time to show them what humanity is truly capable of." The AI's response was swift and affirmative. "Acknowledged, Jace. Initiating Phase 2 of the operation." As the Intrepid closed in on the reactor, Jace allowed himself a moment of reflection. The aliens had mocked and underestimated humanity, believing them to be weak and inferior, but they were about to learn the true strength and ingenuity of the human spirit. With a fierce grin, Jace prepared to unleash the full might of human resolve upon the unsuspecting alien forces. The Cloaked Army. In the depths of space, a fleet of human stealth ships hung silent and invisible, waiting for the signal to strike. These vessels, equipped with the same advanced cloaking technology as the Intrepid, had been carefully positioned around the alien base, ready to converge at a moment's notice. Aboard the flagship, Admiral Elena Novak stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the tactical display. She had personally overseen the planning of this operation, working in close collaboration with Jace and ARIA to orchestrate a daring offensive against the alien stronghold. As the Intrepid approached the base's reactor, ARIA sent out a coded transmission on a secured frequency. It was the signal the fleet had been waiting for. With a flurry of activity, the human ships decloaked, their sleek forms shimmering into view as they closed in on the alien base from all directions. The alien sensors, caught off guard by the sudden appearance of the human fleet, struggled to lock onto the targets. Admiral Novak's voice rang out across the fleet's communication network. All ships, commence attack. Let's show these aliens what humanity is made of. The human ships unleashed a barrage of advanced weapons, their targeting systems guided by ARIA's infiltration of the alien networks. Missiles streaked through the void, slamming into the base's defenses and sending shockwaves rippling through its structure. As the battle raged outside, Jace and his team of prisoners-turned freedom fighters made their way deeper into the base. ARIA had uploaded a virus into the alien systems, disabling their internal defenses and communications. The alien commanders, once arrogant and dismissive of humanity, now scrambled to mount a defense against the unexpected onslaught. But they were ill-prepared for the coordinated assault. Their own technology turned against them. Jace and his team fought their way to the reactor chamber, aided by ARIA's guidance and the confusion sown by the human fleet's attack. They planted explosive charges at critical junctures, preparing to cripple the base's power supply and render it vulnerable. As they made their way back to the Intrepid, Jace couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. The aliens had underestimated humanity, believing them to be a weak and primitive species, but they had failed to recognize the depths of human ingenuity, the unbreakable spirit that drove them to overcome any obstacle. With the charges set and the fleet pressing the attack, Jace and his team boarded the Intrepid and prepared to make their escape. The human ships formed a protective perimeter around the small craft as it sped away from the besieged base. Jace knew that this was just the beginning. The human-alien war was far from over, but today they had struck a decisive blow. They had shown the galaxy the true strength and resilience of humanity. As the Intrepid soared through the stars, Jace allowed himself a moment of satisfaction. The aliens had mocked them, but in the end, it was humanity who would have the last laugh. Pride and fall. In the command center of the alien base, the once arrogant commanders watched in horror as their defenses crumbled before the onslaught of the human fleet. Screens flickered and systems failed, the virus planted by ARIA wreaking havoc on their networks. The lead commander, a tall, spindly alien with a face etched in lines of disdain, slammed his fist against the console. How could this happen? He snarled, his voice laced with a mixture of anger and disbelief. How could these primitive humans outmaneuver us? As if in answer to his question, a holographic display flickered to life in the center of the command room. The image of Jace Heron, battered but unbowed, appeared before them. "You made a grave mistake," Jace said, his voice steady and resolute. "You underestimated humanity. You thought us weak, primitive, and inferior. But you failed to recognize our greatest strength, our unwavering determination and ingenuity." The alien commanders stared at the hologram, their eyes wide with a dawning realization. This entire operation, from my capture to the infiltration of your systems, was a carefully orchestrated plan, Jace continued. "We allowed you to believe you had the upper hand, all the while gathering the intelligence we needed to strike at the heart of your stronghold." The lead commander's face contorted in rage. You will pay for this deception, human. Your species will be crushed beneath the might of our empire." Jace shook his head, a small smile playing at the corners of his mouth. "No, it is you who will pay the price for your arrogance. Even now, our forces are seizing control of your base. Your defenses are in shambles, your systems compromised. The pride of your empire has blinded you to the true strength of humanity." As if on cue, a series of explosions rocked the base, the charges planted by Jace's team detonating in a cascading chain of destruction. The alien commanders were thrown off balance, alarms blaring and lights flickering. In the chaos, human soldiers stormed the command center, their weapons trained on the stunned alien leaders. Admiral Novak strode forward, her presence commanding and authoritative. "Your reign of terror ends here," she declared, her voice ringing out over the sounds of battle. "This is a turning point in the war between our species. From this day forward, humanity will no longer be underestimated or dismissed." The alien commanders, their pride shattered and their base crumbling around them, had no choice but to surrender. They had been outmaneuvered, outmatched, and outplayed by a species they had once considered inferior. As Jace watched the scene unfold from the bridge of the Intrepid, he felt a sense of triumph and vindication. Humanity had shown its true colors, its resilience and ingenuity shining through in the face of overwhelming odds. The war was far from over, but today marked a crucial victory. The aliens would never again make the mistake of underestimating the power of the human spirit. With a nod to his crew, Jace set a course for home, ready to report on the success of their mission and prepare for the battles yet to come. The galaxy had witnessed the strength of humanity, and they would not soon forget it.